As you might know, I talk a lot about food justice issues on my show, and that tomorrow I'll be walking 43 miles from Springfield to Greenfield over 2 days to raise money and awareness of the work of the Food Bank of Western Mass. And part of the mission of that is not just to raise money, but to share the stories of food insecurity. Our next storyteller is going to share her story with you now. Please welcome Rebecca Martin.
I'm very short. I need some help. Oh, I got it. Look at that. Okay. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm scared as hell. I didn't know what food disparity was, let alone that I'd lived it my whole life. I thought everybody had anxiety going into a grocery store. I thought everybody had to pick between 1 apple or 2 boxes of mac and cheese, sans the butter, to feed their kids. It's hard being a single mom. It's hard being a single disabled mom. It's hard being a single mom who's a domestic violence survivor with no support from extended family. It's hard to look at your kids as anything different than mouths that need to be fed and lives that need to be lived when you run out of food stamps, now SNAP benefits, halfway through the month, regardless. And it's hard to find ways to be present with them. So I started trying to fill the plates with a program called WIC. And they came out with farm share vouchers back in '92. And in 2008, I picked them up. I made my way to my first farm share. And it was scary. And I felt very othered when I came up to the farmer with my very different voucher, and they responded, oh, this is different. I got to do something different here. What was I supposed to do? It was obvious that I was different, that I was other. And I didn't really go back. I didn't take full advantage of the vouchers that I had been given. It was too scary. That started to change when CISA made the SNAP share, the SNAP save. What they did was they gave you the first $10 you spend, they gave you $10 more. $10 more. I didn't have more, I didn't have extra before. And that little bit of extra gave me a way in. Those little coins, the wooden coins that they use were different, but anybody could use them with an ATM card or an EBT card. And then I was less othered. I was sort of undercover, and that felt better. And what that $10 extra did was afford me maybe to try something different, something that I never did. I did not go away from those staples, those canned goods and those dried goods, and I just stayed away from all those fresh vegetables because it was heartbreaking to look at them and not be able to afford them. So that got me there, and that got me trying some new things, but I still felt othered. It was still a little scary. Being a domestic violence survivor, you kind of close off. You separate from the rest of society. You're afraid of what other people think of you, how their eyes look at you. Like they can tell that I'm other. Well, I shut everybody out, and just me and my kids, and along came this neighbor of mine. She just was not having that. She was a radical thinker. She got in. And she dragged me to things like Cathedral in the Night and the Survival Center. She dragged me to the food organization group with Hampshire Healthy Connect, and those are the places I learned I had a voice. People might listen. There were other people out there that were othered. There were places I belonged. And she dragged me to that Grow Food Northampton CSA share at Crimson and Clover Farms because I was kicking and screaming, no, stay away from those beets. I don't want anything to do with beets. Have you ever had canned beets? They are horrible. No. She dragged me there, and she practically had to hold my hand while I signed for that first CSA share. And what that did changed my life. All of a sudden, I could pay one time. And yeah, food stamps still to this day runs out halfway through the month. But that one-time payment at the beginning of the month that I can always make because it automatically comes out, that payment affords me a month's worth of food. I can pick up fresh vegetables every week regardless. And the changes that gave birth from that, there was only just this much stress relieved, but it gave birth to this much space. And then all of a sudden, I could see my kids smile. I could even try to play with them. I had space to think about other things, like what the hell do I do with rutabagas? My eldest son, he taught me what to do with them, actually. Just Google it, Mom. We can find anything. And it's true. What my kids taught me was that we like every vegetable in some recipe. There is so much more to this story than I can fit in 5 minutes or even 10. And I don't want to miss a single thing. But my life changed with that farm share. You know, I got these beautiful experiences like nursing my baby in a field of white flowers with buzzing bees everywhere. Things like the smell of tomatoes warming from the sun. I got to lay my baby down in the dirt while I picked strawberries dangling over his head instead of a toy. His favorite toy was a kale, stalk. So what this experience has done for me is it took me from somebody who was afraid of everybody's eyes and thought they had nothing to say and put me on this stage. What this afforded me is being asked to go to the State House and represent HIP. See, the farm share pretty much put me 3 years ahead of where HIP is going. And what that HIP does is it affords all of my community members, low-income community members, that chance for that healing. And I hope that I got to speak to 75 people. 75 people of influence at the State House, and I got to ask for $6.6 million so that all of my low-income community and all of them across the Massachusetts might have what I had, might have the changes in their lives, and hopefully across the United States. Thank you.